Okay, sir.
Yes, formally start. We'll formally start. Yes. Dr. Amit sir, can you open your camera? Can you start your camera? Yes, sir. You're perfectly visible now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yes, madam, please.
A very good morning to one and all present here today on day 4 of the 6 days online refresher program on Contemporary Artificial Intelligence Idea to Product, sponsored by AICTE-ISTE and organized by the Department of Computer Engineering, DYPCOE College of Engineering, Akurdi, Pune. On behalf of the college and the department, I, Mrs. Sudhamini Somvanshi, Assistant Professor of Department of Computer Engineering, would welcome you all today. I am indeed honored to offer a warm, hearty and grateful welcome to today's guest and speaker of this session, Dr. Amit Andre, Chief Executive Officer, Data Tech Labs, New York. I welcome our Principal, Vice Principal Madam, and HOD Dr. Vinayak Kottavar Sir, faculty members and all the participants for this course. Without delaying much, I would like to introduce today's guest or speaker for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my honor to introduce to you an excellent influential leader, extraordinary public speaker, who is known for his real-time problem-solving skills, insightful decision-making ability, effective strategy creation and implementation, digital transformation expertise, distinguished customer relationship management, strategic business analysis and planning, high-performance team management, brilliant training abilities, etc., just to name a few. Dr. Amit Andre is the CEO of Data Tech Labs, New York. His expertise lies in artificial intelligence and data science. Dr. Amit is a hardcore learner and trainer with a strong belief in knowledge sharing. His high-profile technological qualifications, complex real-time problem-solving skills, and outcome-oriented approach make him stand apart. Dr. Amit's illuminating vision, like that of a true leader towards business goals, is inspirational. With more than 15 years of rich experience along with his customer-driven approach and learn and improve strategy, he is definitely an influential leader who is always aspiring to get the best technological solutions for resolving business challenges. He has been invited as a technical speaker by renowned organizations and institutions from all over the world across 87 countries. He has been acknowledged with Best Innovation Award 2017 for efficiently developing Leadership Summit with World's Thinkers 50 speakers, beating 1,400 participants from 104 organizations from 21 countries. He has been recognized for his abilities of consistently increasing sales. He has led a team of 2,728 members across Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Oman, India, and East Africa, and has played a major role in increasing revenues of the company from thousands to a cumulative revenue of over $235 million in the span of 9 years. He has played a significant role in gaining higher sales of average of $5.5 million during the crisis of recession. He has core responsibility in mentoring and coaching new trainers and assisting IT professionals in acquiring certifications. He has a track record of training over 32,000 professionals on project management, CAPM, PMP, ITIL V3 Foundation from reputed organizations across 82 countries since 2018, thereby increasing the organizational profit. He is certified by Microsoft as a trainer, technology specialist, etc. on various technologies such as AWS, SQL Server 2005, SQL Server 2008, and he has been a professional developer of SharePoint administrator and developer, just to name a few. This emphasizes his belief of never stop learning. Dr. Amit's plethora of knowledge, skills spreads through various technological boundaries and breakthrough learning and teaching abilities makes him the best public speaker. Focus, learn, impart knowledge, and get the work rightly done are his key attributes that he aims to inculcate in the business work culture, eventually achieving exceptional business growth. He has an extensive experience of about 20 years as an Microsoft, Oracle, and IBM instructor, both in the classroom and in customized training at customer site. Coming to his qualifications, he has completed his BE Computer Engineering from DY Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi in the year 2005. That means we are proud to say that he is our alumni. He has later pursued a double MBA, one in international business from IIBM and second one in leadership and sustainability, followed by a PhD in data science and analytics from California State University. Ingenious leaders with powerful skills and incredible solution building abilities is what best defines Dr. Amit Andre. It is now time to listen to him, and let's welcome him all to enlighten us on the topic of immersive learning experiences using AI, AR, and VR. Welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sodhamini madam and Vinayak sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak here. Just before we start, so we have all the faculties attending today. Few questions. Is it all the faculties in the session today?
Yes, all faculty members from various branches, but all faculty members.
Okay, from our college itself or from other?
No, sir. We have one or two participants are from out of the state. Otherwise, we are all from Maharashtra here.
Oh, okay, fine. That's okay. No problem. Good. The reason I ask these questions is if it is all learning community, I want this, or I would rather prefer this to get into the mode of discussion than a lecture. And that's why I thought of asking you this question on where and what the participants are. I hope that's okay with everybody. Good morning, all.
Yes, sir.
Great, perfect. Thank you for confirmation. So today's topic, which we need to imbibe and understand in a detailed way, being faculties, teachers, professors, whatever way, we are ultimately evolving through different learning experiences. So today we will try and focus to understand what is immersive learning, how it is changing the environment and the technologies around it, and what are the root cause analysis and the ways with which we can implement these experiences based on the user who is trying to learn from us. This is the fundamental objective of today. So before we start, let us try and understand what exactly is immersive learning. Can somebody from your side tell me your understanding of an immersive learning? What is your understanding of immersive learning? Guys, you with me?
Participants, you can unmute and answer, or you can answer in the chat.
Yeah. Anybody, let it be wrong. I wanted to understand your version of what do you understand from the concept of immersive learning?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I could see some responses on the chat. Okay. Pooja Deshpande madam says that learning with the help of simulations. Okay. Neelam Patil madam says learning from artificial environment. Sodamini madam says experiential learning. Good, that's great. So all of this is basically the combination which we try to understand. Because in today's digital world, finding new ways to engage students is ever more difficult. And when, with the help of some technologies, using the devices probably like mobile phones, tablets, games, consoles, which are highly advanced and which are widely available also, it has to be adapted into the segment of learning so that the effectiveness and the time span of learning remains from the perspective of what needs to be understood from the user. So virtual, augmented, and mixed reality technology, which is available for all of us for several years, but now it is getting evolved, or probably it has started evolving from 2016, where the level of how it will take the experience of learning to the customer, to the learner, will make a difference. And with its ability to help the learners and absorb the material or of the absorb the content which we try to push into is very important. That's why when we talk about immersive learning, it is a 360-degree holistic approach which allows you to create appropriate experience for the person who is going through this particular education. And there are different ways around it, because immersive learning is not only about reaching a greater variety, but also delivering a greater results based on the environment, which allows different aspects of accumulating the knowledge. Like we know that there are five senses, and all these five senses, or using the medium of all these five different senses, imparting knowledge, focusing towards most of this is the mechanism which we try and understand and try to adopt in the immersive learning path. Now, rather than sitting with an old-fashioned paper-based chart, imagine how powerful it would be for a chemistry student to instead interact with the 3D periodic table of the elements and learn through experimentation. Same goes with mechanical students, same goes with electronic students, and same goes with IT students also. As a teacher, immersive learning is nothing but most important part which will help us to reach a greater variety of learners through an environment which involves all of these experiences in different segments. To understand this better from the teaching perspective today, as I'm speaking from the teaching perspective, according to Edgar's Dale cone of experience, the greater number of seed senses involved in the learning process, the more effective the learning is, which means that we need to get participants involved in all of these different segments. As you can see on the slide, 10% of what they read is generally remembered. And with this, definition or understanding of concept is clear. However, when we incorporate visuals aligning with view what a student or learner sees, or what it experiences, or what it writes, creates the difference. 90% of what they do is what they remember, and which evolves around all the hands-on mechanics which needs to be adopted during this particular delivery. this experiential learning is not only driven by teachers, but majorly driven by combination of teachers and educational technologies, tools, products which we try to work on. And that's something which we will focus on today. Because the world of immersive technology revolves around recognition, revolves around augmented reality, revolves around virtual reality, devices, and different speech interfaces which needs to be worked out. Let's get into it in detail and try and understand. You might have heard the term augmented reality. Now, augmented reality was first coined in 1992. Remember, 1992 means it's more than uh, 20 years now, by Thomas Caudle and David Meisel. These two were experimenting augmented reality. They were working at Boeing. They were employees and working in Boeing engineering as a engineer to devise or to work on electronic components in an airplanes. And that's where, while working on a simple see-through headset that aided airplane engineers in complex wiring schematics, and that basically helped them to, to evaluate and to explore it further. According to the research and the documentation, the goal of augmented reality, which is commonly abbreviated as AR, was to enable cost reductions and efficiency improvements in many of human involved operations in aircraft manufacturing. And that's where it all started. We have been dreaming about the potential of AR in the long time, and the history of medium stretches back before we had a term for it. In fact, AR shares the history of technological cousin called VR, which is virtual reality. Because both virtual reality or AR and VR share a common ancestor, which is the Sword of Damocles, which was built in 1968 and was created by a computer scientist and researcher known as Ivan Sutherland. His goal was to create an ultimate display, which is nothing but a digital interface capable of transforming the physical world. Guys, please understand, we are talking about where it all began, which starts with the aspects of your smart devices on how it should occupy and work on. During those days, the prototype was so heavy that it needed to be suspended from different mechanisms and different arms overall. And for all the hardware, it could only display a basic wireframe rooms that were barely explorable. But this particular experiment was one of the humankind which was ready to change the world. And with these confining results of hardware and software with appropriate programming, these displays could be literally be the wonderland into which lies walk. So fundamentally, today we don't speak about these components only based on the devices, only based on the hardwares, but they are also based on the experiences. So when we talk about the world of immersive technology, which is under the top 5 emerging technologies in next 10 years, we also need to understand the fundamentals and dependabilities of these technologies. Google has certainly taken the lead in launching the consumable devices. However, if we talk about a fundamental college campus-based programs, on the mobile AR side, we have most of the world which is on mobile today and is ready to experience augmented reality for first time. the rapid development of these tools, of these smartphones, are actually contributed to the growth of AR and VR industries. And that's because the components, the hardware which makes smartphone works, like gyroscopes, like accelerometers, like miniaturized high resolution displays, which are required by every AR VR headsets. And the high demand for the smartphones has driven the mass production of these components throughout the past 10 years, resulting in greater hardware innovations around the industry, which basically is also one of the important innovation in reducing the cost and increasing the experience of the user. As I said, all the innovations in this immersive learning around the recognition devices, speech interfaces, we have Google taking initiative, which is the first foray into the AR space with a product like Google Glass. I hope you might have seen video or WhatsApp forwards about Google Glass, which is a head-mounted display that took the form of smart glasses. It is basically used today in variety of enterprise applications because it has the productivity of visualize the segments and predict with the help of analytics which needs to be worked out. So after the glasses, Google's next AR play was Project Tango. I don't know if you have read about it, but Tango is nothing but a combination of custom software and additional hardware for unique depth sensing smartphones, which are like these devices which you put on your eyes, because Tango enabled phones to track the world around them and connected with different rendering and unique digital overlays into the industry. And I think in 2017 approximately, the technology or the framework or the platform called AR Core was launched by Google for developers, which is an API for building and developing mobile AR experiences. So that's all different segments which which are considered while we work and define the immersive learning experience of the technology with the help of AR and VR. It is also very important that we understand the differences between AR and VR. So let's before we get on to the discussion, let's have a brief poll here on what do you think is the differentiator between AR and VR as per your understanding. Either you can unmute and speak or chat. Guys, I hope you're listening.
Participants,
Yeah.
yeah. Participants, you can either unmute or write in the chat the difference between AR and VR.
Let's make this interactive, guys, so that we both of us remain active during the discussions. Okay, Mr. Jain says virtual environment. Can you elaborate, Mr. Jain, please? So we know AR is augmented reality, VR is virtual reality. So what is the difference? What is the fundamental difference of these two? Okay, never mind. That's okay. Let me explain you uh, in a simple way so that we all understand. So we know that fundamentally augmented reality and virtual reality are the emerging techs into the experiential mode, whether it's learning industry, whether it's education industry, whether it's manufacturing, any industry for that matter. Now let's understand the most obvious difference, because it is very important for you to not only during the teaching to the students but also while discussing in different forums that we understand the difference, because see, this is not only related to a software or programming sequence. It's a combination of computer, IT, electronics, ENTC segments creating a product together. So the most obvious difference is in the hardware. A VR experience must be viewed in some kind of headset where it's powered by a smartphone or connected to high-end PC or smart devices. Because VR headsets require powerful but low latency displays which are capable of projecting complete digital worlds without dropping a frame, which basically creates the experience. Similarly, if we talk about AR technology does not share this requirement. You can hold up your phone and have headset-free AR experience anytime. And that's where augmented reality, AR, is direct or indirect live view of physical real world whose elements are augmented by computer generated perceptual information. And virtual reality is the use of computer technology to create simulated environment, placing the user inside an experience. So both these technologies enable us to experience computing more like we experience the real world. They make computing work more like we do in regular life in the 3D, 5D, 7D space. However, in the terms of how and where to be applied is the differentiation. VR transports you to the new experience, and AR creates the simulation of these segments. Generally speaking, this difference makes AR better medium for a day-to-day application because users don't have to engage the hardwares and the different segments related to AR and VR techniques. And that basically creates or gives you a platform to explore and learn more around it. While churning around these experiences, we all know that the aspect of learning doesn't stop. And during this process, there is a lot of data which is getting transformed. There is a lot of information which is getting communicated or accumulated. And that also becomes a boon for us to work and define different segments of where and how we will collaborate and work with different segments of industries. This is a classic example here because when we talk about learning, you might have experienced yourself probably when you were in schools and colleges what was the mode of learning and what was the attention time span. Guys, it's very important for us to understand the attention time span also. We use, or probably I, if I will have to say, and I completely agree that you all are also from the similar era of learnings. If I have to say, 1990s is where I did my schooling, and plus minus 10% you would have also done your schooling, where we had the largest attention time span in the schools or colleges, where we used to sit for hours to understand, try and practice. And we were able to focus during that particular. But nowadays, the attention time span of every individual has drastically dropped off. That's where the change in learners' expectation with the help of technology to be adopted is being taken care. From pre-digital era to the digital era, and today we are talking about beyond digital era. And all of these is something which basically talks about the evolving techniques in immersive learning, which is backed by AR, VR, and AI. Let's have a quick checkpoint here to understand the basics of AR once again. So we have AR, which is the humankind's first foray into the immersive reality through different head-mounted displays. Head-mounted displays are also known as HMDs. The term augmented reality, as we discussed, was coined by Boeing engineers. And there are different projects and evaluation segments which happens in these areas where we try and cover different aspects of AR and VR segmentation based on industries. Now let us take experiences, or let us take some examples, some industry examples. We are discussing about immersive learning in using AR or VR for that matter. However, how does industry reacts to it? So let's talk about first an important domain of consumer, which is shopping and retail. So, though it's a young medium, AR is already being used in variety of different capacities in retail industries, in shopping industries. So if you begin with shopping, because it integrates seamlessly with the real world, AR has been phenomenal. It has been proven to be the powerful medium of shopping and retail. And you can watch it. You can use applications. You can make up yourself and see how it looks. You can change your hair. You can cut your hair and all that without leaving your home from your couch or sofa. And there are plenty of use cases like this with the help of clothes, with the help of makeup, haircuts, furnitures, interior designs, and whatnot. As of now, this industry is at 2.8 billion US dollars. From a $1 stuff to $1,000 stuff, everything can be experienced with the help of AR in the shopping and retail industry. If we talk about B2B segment, when we talk about AR in the businesses, because when it comes to businesses, it comes to different domains. And AR Core as an API enables experiences for many different kind of professional organizations. It could be warehouses which can build for identifying a particular piece or good or navigation or instruction, and all of these will have to work on different designs in 3D spaces, different segments of retailers which can give customer different ways and products to attract the customers, to advertise it, to give that particular experience, to understand and do what it is. To give you an example, for a travel and tourism industry, probably a AR based bungee jumping experience. It actually gives you an insight on building the appropriate AR core mechanics. Same works with the social media as the third important industry which needs to be worked on. Because one of the most obvious use of AR is social media and social sharing. Can anyone give me an example? There was one product. There was one product which was launched in 2015, in the social media industry which is still popular and uses AR? Any guesses? And I'm sure most of you might have used it.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's a Snapchat application like AR mostly used in.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So Snapchat was the first media platform to fully embrace AR. The platform introduces lenses in 2015, building the popularity of filters, and these allowed users to digitally augment and manipulate faces, including all rainbow vomiting lenses around the lightweight expressions of AR. And then Facebook followed with its own AR camera. Then Google is also working to build and developing an intuitive platform for creating content with the AR stickers and whatnot. And that's how the industry is being evolving these days. The list is endless when it comes to application. So you might have experienced AR in gaming, AR in education, AR in healthcare, AR in non-profit, and different segments on how the future of AR looks into when we plan to define the correct aspects of augmented reality. And each of this will play an important role on understanding the AR segments. Fundamentally, as I said, it is very important for us to be aware of aspects which play an important role in AR and VR. It is also very important to work in defining the aspects and understanding of what needs to be accumulated. Now, before we get on to the next topic of AI, I also want you to, I also want you guys, will come back to these presentations back. Okay, yeah. So I also want you to understand the aspects which are important while we create or enables the AR techniques with the help of hardware and programming techniques. So as I was explaining, accelerometer, which is one of the important component to be considered while creating these applications using AR Core, Google AR Core API, which measures the acceleration, which is change in the speed divided by time while you interact with these smart devices. So if I have to simplify it, it's the measure change in the velocity which defines the forces of static and continuous activity in dynamic and movement of different vibrations which happens with the help of these smart devices. And this accelerometer, now this, to give you an example, probably a touch screen effect on a Samsung or LG or MI and iPhone, or probably every of these brands which I spoke about, it has a different touchscreen experience, and that each of these will play a different and important role on defining the important aspects of how the value of these applications needs to be created. And Google AR Core gives you a pre-built API and interfaces to work with these accelerometers. Then we have gyroscope, which measures or maintains the orientation, which is directly proportional to angular velocity. When you change the rotation of your phone while using the AR experience, the gyroscope is responsible to measure that rotation, and AR Core ensures that the digital assets respond correctly. And that basically gives you a 360-degree understanding of how these hardware components are aligned with the segments. And with the help of phone cameras with mobile AR, live feed surrounding real environment, real world is overlaid, and it has its own segments. So it's very important for all of us to understand the assets of while working with the AR and segments on what and how it has to be built, where it has to be positioned, stationary ARs, dynamic ARs, concentrate, scale, size, occlusion, increased realism. All of these are different segments which needs to be worked out, and all of these help us in defining and creating the correct matrix. So occlusion, which basically refers to what happens when an image or object is blocked by another, where we move our hands in front of face like this, and you have just occluded the computer screen with your hand, and how the AR objects takes or understands it or takes care of it, how the AR and objects are created and binded with the events which are defined, and how solid augmented assets work on these techniques, because all the AR objects needs to appear solid. This may sound obvious, but it takes conscious effort to achieve to make them solid. As you engage with an ultimately created AR content, keep in mind that AR objects should never overlap with real-time objects, nor should they appear in floating in a thin air if they're not something like an airplane or balloon or identified in this segment. This basically gives you a clear understanding of what and how AR VR is to be worked on. Coming back to our learning experience with the help of AR and VR, let me stop this presentation for now and let me share something different, an experience which can be given to these learning activities within the industry. So this pandemic has taught us to use Google Meet, to use Zoom, to use Teams, so to know different audio video mechanisms of learnings. What next? Can anybody guess for how many more years we will be using Google Meet, Zoom, Teams applications and impart our lectures like this? And what was the sustainability matrix of all this? What could be the next big thing in the education industry, whether it's college or corporates, on imparting immersive learning experience apart from those headset or 3D segments? What could be the next thing? It has to be through 5G technologies or telecom or AR or VR data for sure. I'm not interested in understanding the technology behind it, but what will be the user experience behind it? And that's what I wanted to hear out from you guys. What's your take on this? Have you thought of it? Any vague idea is also okay. Please help me also to listen some good voices.
Hello, sir. Yes, so basically, as we know that the latest learning application that which is more popular, that is Byju's, that we all know that, and the technology used in to deliver a better, what we can say, to educate students in different way, like they used AR technologies, like they're doing triangles and easily understand for the students. There is also a new way to learn, and also it will be improved in for the next decade, I think. So that is also one way to
That's
learn.
right, Chinmay. However, what basically happens is, again, that's already in place. What I am trying to understand is what exactly can be expected in future with the help of these technologies. Byju's is having videos, having content, and everything. However, after 10 years from now, people will get bored of it.
Yes,
Let
yes.
let me show you something for all of you. Let me share my screen. I hope, guys, you can see my screen. I am sharing my screen. This is a university. This is an online campus of the university which we have built. This is using an immersive learning AI based experience where you can see, I don't know if, is it visible, guys, for you? Can you all see my screen? Please confirm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir, the screen is visible.
So this is a virtual avatar of university. It could be DY Patil Akurdi Education Complex, where now I cannot see anybody. The reason being it's night. This we have implemented this university in UK. So what basically happens is you will see all the facilities which needs to be there. You can see this is an influence ecology campus, which is the university, where if you see, you can see all campus locations like classrooms, information centers, lighthouses, soccer field, theater, different towers, different auditoriums, and this is the avatar. You can change your avatar, or a user can change your avatar any point in time, and every user will have its own profile. This will track every user who is logged in. So I just come here, move here, log down to the welcome screen, or if I know that I want to go to uh, I want to go to auditorium, I will go to auditorium. I just walk into the auditorium because it's night, nobody is stopping me. However, there are the security guards and segments. Once I move to the auditorium, inside the auditorium, if it's one screen, free screen, or different auditoriums, it will give us the index. I am in the auditorium and presenter is yet to share. So I can occupy the seat wherever I want and my lecture starts. That's how the lecture happens. The instructor is same, the trainer is same, the presentation mechanism is same. The only difference is how is the experience for the learner which we are giving. During the lecture, you can stand up, you can raise your hands, and you can do whatever you want to do. Let's say you want to go to office or you want to speak, you go to stage. You're at the stage now. Come to the podium and start the presentation. All your configuration of what needs to be done and how needs to be done is defined. Let's say you have some work in the office of the college or university. You can go to the information center from here. So this is where I am at the information center. And I can get the information about different programs, courses, campuses around the influence ecology, and there are customer service desks which supports. You see, this is the campus partner team suits. This is about campus events. You go to the information center and it starts the information to be displayed and work out. Similarly, if you want to go to influence ecology office, where you have your HODs, principals, vice principals sitting. And you see, you can see the view here. This is the holistic view of the campus. So you're now in the office. So this is the cabin of client manager Europe, Suzanne Poole. You can Google her name or search her on the LinkedIn. She is the actual client manager Europe for influence ecology. It's her cabin. Then we have Michael Major, which is client manager for East Coast Australia. That's his cabin. There is a common staff room also, which could be used by all teachers, professors, or visiting faculties. All these are cabins of people, presentation rooms, discussion rooms, tea coffee rooms. All of this is nothing but experience given to the user coming to your college. And all of these is aligned with these technologies which I was talking since morning. Similarly, if you want to go to a boardroom like faculty hall, as I was explaining, you go and move to the faculty hall where you can see all the faculties inside. When there are no lectures, they are sitting here and chatting like you do in your colleges. If you want to go to the classroom, like first year comp, this is the classroom. The teacher is present here and teaching, and you can have the idea of these learning with different experiences. You can go to workshop room, where there's a seminar or workshop which is happening. Let's say you want to chill around and want to have a discussion, or you want to go to sports. There is a soccer field. These are the different available suits in that particular values, particular university. And this is your profile. You can go to your profile, check the profile, edit the profile. If you want to change the avatar, you can go here, change your avatar. Avatar is your identity in that particular university. So, what is it? Want to change it? Want to change? Put the hats on. Put the shades on. Probably clothes or whatever you want. So this is the kind of learning experiences which not only can change the education industry, but also all the industries, where we give the actual simulation experience with the help of different segments in the application. And all of these is your AR, VR, and emerging techs with AR Core and Google APIs. Any questions, guys?
Hello, sir.
How do you find it? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. I have one question. Like in near future, can we think of the coexisting appearances of AR and VR?
Yes, certainly. Now, I showed you something which was without the hardware devices, right? So
Right.
you can have the cross-integrated applications, and the dependability on the 3D glasses or Oculus will certainly going to vanish.
Okay, sir. Right. Thank you.
So this is actual live campus where there are 75,000 students studying. Probably, if Vinayak sir allows us someday and we conduct this session at night, I can show you the people around, moving around, and the experience which is happening in the university, which is as good as live.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
So these are the next level of understanding the different aspects which needs to be built, not only in the education or the learning industry, but in any industry. The objective to expose you today with this kind of applications is AR Core or Google AR would be the most important and crucial platform, and a unique platform which you and your students can start researching and working on. And the focus is majorly on the experience given to the user, experience given to the consumers, and that will make a major difference. Is that clear? Guys, are you with me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now let's come back to the presentation. Now, as I said, while doing all this, while creating these applications, there will be certainly a bunch or amount of data which will be gathered, and that basically has to be worked on, and that's where the concept of data engineering, data modeling, data algorithms, and artificial intelligence also, or analytics also, comes to the picture. So let's avoid the myth and let's try and understand on how this is working around. And that's where, if we talk about the data industry, which is predicted to have a 13 trillion economy, driving the value around AI applications, as proposed by McKinsey Global Institute, this will create a difference around what needs to be worked out. And we all have heard the term artificial intelligence, contemporary artificial intelligence, public artificial intelligence in different domains. Let's try and understand very fundamental. I will, as you know, we have the restrictions are planned. We'll talk only about the fundamentals of how we need to define and look at artificial intelligence and not believe on the myths. Because artificial intelligence is fundamentally based on two important aspects. One is the artificial intelligence for consumer behaviors, for end users, and artificial intelligence for value chain created in the life of humans. And that's why AI is fundamentally divided into two parts, and each of these parts is contributing to the industries which are defined here, which starts with the retail part of it, which starts with the travel part of it, which starts with the transport, logistics, automotive, basic materials, and different segments of what needs to be worked out. Every industry today is adopting to the AI and the value chain which will be built using AI in different segments. These are a few statistics which can be worked out. And this is not only the software industry, this is overall every industry to work with. It's very important for us to understand that AI is basically categorized into two familiar or fundamental concepts. I think I have spoken about this in my last talk also, but we will briefly take this up here once again, because now we are trying to aligning it with immersive learning experiences. So there are two fundamental types of AI which play an important role. One is ANI and another is AGI. So ANI is artificial narrow intelligence and AGI is artificial general intelligence. And them, both of them, we have different aspects of what and how these products needs to be created and applied. When we talk about ANI, which is a consumer specific experience, which fundamentally talks about what it is in it for end users, where there has been a lot of progress. The AGI is a research based components for a larger integrity on how human has to behave and work. As I said, ANI, which is a consumer-based artificial intelligence service, where we talk about smart speakers, self-driving cars, web search, speech recognition, visual recognition, algorithms, all of these are a tick mark into the ANI segment. And AGI is basically a replica of every human task which needs to be done, which is a super intelligent, self-sufficient, and there is a lot of data pulled in around it. It is slow, but it's long-term impact in the industry. And both of this will play an important segment on working with different aspects on how and what AI mechanics needs to be worked out. While talking to the industry part of it, in the learning components, the learning behavior of every student can be tracked with the different algorithms and classified dynamically based on the content which is pushed to the person dynamically, based on his understanding and learning aspects, and assessment also. All AI based assessment engines also can be worked out. So, this all three segments combining together plays a very important and major role in creating the aspects of different learning experiences in the industry. Any questions, guys? So this basically sums up the exposure of immersive learning in AI, AR, and VR as a whole. Now let us take on the questions and understand from each one of you one by one on how is the pattern of what you adopt as an AR, VR, and what contribution do you think you can make in learning these particular segments. If probably we can start it one by one, one by one, whoever have attended the complete session in the class. Please go ahead, guys.
Participants, you can switch on your mic, or you can put the questions in the chat for the discussion.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Sir, I have recently come across the IKEA shop venture that is about virtual shopping. So I just need to know from you that which technology or like which platform do they use to get into the virtual world so much easily and effectively?
IKEA is using Google AR.
Okay. So in that they are using the only augmented reality.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Right. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions, participants? You can put in the chat box also. I think we don't have any questions right now, sir.
Perfect. I think that sums up my session and discussion around these techniques. If there are any questions, I'm open for questions. If not, probably you can get in touch with me any point in time when we get into the specifics of what and how it needs to be implemented.
Sir, there is a question by Shripad Sarange, sir.
Okay.
He's asking for the uses of VR in mechanical engineering.
That's a fantastic question, Sripad. It started with mechanical engineering. I gave you an example of Boeing, right? They were building aircrafts. They were simulating the experience of learning in the aircrafts, which is certainly not core mechanical engineering, but yes, combined with mechatronics or mechanical and electronics together. And there could be multiple other experiences also, like self-driving cars. The experience of self-driving cars and the maintenance. Today, probably with every car you get a car manual, I would say, or truck manual. What if we have an AR based help in that particular segments? That could be another aspect to look at it. Another way to look at it from the industry perspective is uh, the experimentation. So instead of doing everything live, we could experiment the schematics into these research labs using AR VR, which will further give us more insights. And that could be another area of how it could be applied in the mechanical engineering. And in the learning space, it is the practical experience. So if you could create good simulations for mechanical engineers, the world is not enough for you to explore. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Sripal.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. In interior designing, it's already there. There are many platforms who are using AR, VR in interior designing. And that's one of the key factors when it comes to digital transformation. What basically happens when we talk about digital transformation? So I'm just diverting it to a holistic, one more larger picture, that when we talk about digital transformation is not only building an application or an experience. It is basically building an app, building a structure of sequential experiences for the consumer. And this fundamentally starts with your RPA, your process automation, your tool automation, your manufacturing industry automation, and which by default talks about AR, VR, or data analytics dashboard in the segments. So all of these are the buzzwords to think and define the strategy in next 5 to 10 years, where we talk about correct digital transformation practice and its adoption in the industry, because that will create a complete difference of how learning will take place. I hope I answered your question, Chinmay. Mr. Chinmay?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. I understand.
Any more questions? Nothing, sir. I think, Salamani madam, if there is anything, you can drop me an email anytime if there are any questions around this, and we can work on. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. With that, we come to the end of the session 1 of day 4. Sir, really thank you for the session, for the extraordinary session rather. Your work, contribution, and in the area of AR and VR is really inspiring, and I hope the participants will take benefit out of this. I would now like to request Mrs. Pooja Deshpande to summarize the session of this. Over to you, Pooja, madam.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ms. Pooja Deshpande, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Engineering, DY Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi, summarizing today's session by Dr. Amit Andre sir on topic Immersive Learning Experiences using AI, AR and VR. Sir has started the session with the concept of immersive learning. Sir mentioned that in current era, to engage students into the learning segment is quite challenging task. We can use AI, VR and AR for this experiential learning. When we incorporate visuals in teaching learning process, it makes the significant difference. Immersive technologies impart knowledge by giving a 360-degree holistic approach. The world of immersive technology revolves around AR, VR, gesture recognition, etc. Sir has thrown light on Google Glass and Google Tango as well. Sir explained the difference between AR and VR very effectively. He also talked about learning delivery evolution, which focuses on change in learners' expectations due to technology. He has explained the working of accelerometer and gyroscope. Sir has shown virtual avatar of universities in near future. It was very interesting to watch future learning experiences, sir. Sir has also illustrated the types of AI, which are ANI, that is Artificial Narrow Intelligence, which is a very consumer specific, and then AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, which is research specific. Sir, it was really very informative and interactive session. Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful and a great session. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Saudamini ma'am.
Thank you, Pooja madam. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it, as said by William Arthur Ward. And as said by Mother Teresa, none of us, including me, ever do great things. But we can all do small things with great love, and together we can do something wonderful. With that thought, I move towards expressing my gratitude to all those who have contributed to this event. To begin with, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman, Shri Satesh Patil Sir, for supporting us to conduct such events. I'd like to thank our Honorable Campus Director, Colonel S.K. Joshi Sir, for motivating and guiding us to organize such events periodically. I'd like to acknowledge our gratitude to Dr. Amit Andre for sharing his knowledge and sparing his valuable time from his busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to acknowledge our gratitude towards our principal, vice principal, madam, faculty members also. We are all inspired by the talk today. So I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Vinayak Kottawar sir, for organizing and encouraging us to organize such an event, such an informative event. I'd like to thank Mrs. Shanti Guru and Mrs. Neelam Patil, the chief coordinators of the program, for their efforts and organizations. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing team members for their efforts who made this event possible. A big thanks to all the participants for active participation and being with us. Thank you all once again. Dear participants, we now come to the end of the morning session of day 4. So we'll see you next in the next session at 1:45 sharp for the evening session. Thank you once again.